guys, welcome to the Sports Note for Wednesday, December 14th, and we saw history last night in the National Hockey League, most specifically in Chicago. Alex Ovechkin had himself quite a night, didn't he? And I can't believe we're actually saying something like that with the fact of Ovechkin continues to amaze at 37 years old. Last night in the third period, Ovechkin notched goal number 800. He is only the third man in the history of the NHL to do so, behind Gordie Howe, who has 801, and of course Wayne Gretzky, who tops the list at 894. Now, still, Gretzky's all-time points record will never be eclipsed. That's one of those unbreakable record in sports, like the 19 straight playoff series by the New York Islanders, the Boston Celtics winning 8 straight NBA titles, Cal Ripken's Iron Man record, because we're going to see, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's scoring record broken by LeBron James in the next few years. Somebody one of these days is going to be good enough at quarterback to catch Tom Brady's all-time passing yards and touchdown mark. We're going to see we eventually will see somebody break Pete Rose's record with their longevity. Somebody's going to catch Barry Bonds one of these days with the way that home run numbers inflate and the players just get stronger and more advanced, and the way that baseball kind of tailors towards the hitters. But you can say whatever you want about the equipment over the years and the athleticism, but Ovechkin has continued to just excite and dazzle again at this stage of his career, where he's actually got almost more gray than brown in his hair and his beard anymore. The probably greatest goal scorer in the history of the National Hockey League, and I don't think I'm out of line for saying that, because yes, he does trail Gretzky by 94 more goals. But let's also keep in mind that Gretzky played in an era where a lot of goaltenders were stand up. They didn't flop around. They weren't as athletic. The players a lot of the times did not have to lift the puck. They didn't shoot as hard, and also if Gretzky was in his prime, although and played today, you would think that he actually would put this record so far out of reach. He could have 1,000 goals if he played in his prime in this era. But again, he didn't. He played with wood sticks that didn't have a whole lot of flex. He played with a lot of stand-up goaltenders, and then towards the end of his career, goaltenders were starting to get into the butterfly. They're not hybrids like they are now. But Ovechkin is going to catch and break Gretzky's record. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And right now, I'm thinking it's going to be within the course of the next 2.5 seasons. So we're coming. So the end of this year will be 2023. We're probably looking somewhere in the winter of 25 or spring of 26, which is hilarious considering the Washington Capitals right now are not even to the halfway point. They're 15, 12, and 4, so that's 31 games. So there's still 50 to go. Ovechkin's already got 20 goals on the year. It's just amazing that he's actually already at this point, considering he tallied a hat trick last night. Scored 24 seconds into the game. Scored his second a few minutes, midway through the first period, which was, ironically enough, Washington's only power play of the night, and they still won 7-3, and then scored the 800 marker just a few minutes into the third period, where the game was eventually stopped. The entire Capitals team left the bench, celebrated with him, took several rounds of applause from the 17,000 plus at the United Center. Was even joined at center ice by Patrick Kane and Jonathan Taves, two very classy gentlemen on the ice. Say what you will about Patrick Kane off the ice. especially going back a few years, and also say whatever you want about the Chicago Blackhawks franchise, especially over the last 2 years. But that's neither here nor there. For all the talk that we've seen over the years about guys like Steven Stamkos, Vinny LeCavalier, Sidney Crosby, especially, and now the talk is Austin Matthews. Could they end up getting to a record of some kind? The realistic thing here is the only one who I think is going to catch wherever Ovechkin decides to stop, and he's shown no signs that he's going to call it quits at 38, 39, 40. He could end up playing until he's 41, 42 and still being able to put up 20 goals, at least 20 goals a year. Again, 31 games in, he's already there now. Although Tage Thompson in Buffalo has got 7 or 8 goals this week alone, including 5 a week ago tonight in Columbus, and then put in 2 more last night in the third period. But the one that we want to keep our eye on right now is Connor McDavid. Connor McDavid does not turn 26 until July 13th. Again, less than 30 days away. Connor McDavid's already got 265 goals and 756 points, and he's only tallied 200 penalty minutes in his career. That's the other standout thing about Ovechkin. He's now got 800 goals, 644 assists for 1,444 points, and he's only tallied 765 penalty minutes in 17 NHL seasons. Oh yeah, he was a Conn Smythe winner in 2018, which was the Capitals' first and only Stanley Cup to date. He also preceded that in the 2013 season, in the 2012-2013 campaign, which was the lockout shortened year, if you remember. Ovechkin went over and played in the KHL with the Dynamo and won the Gagarin Cup, which is the KHL's equivalent of the Stanley Cup, and then comes back and scores an NHL high 32 goals in 48 games, even though the Capitals don't get out of the first round of the playoffs, which was the stigma for the longest time. He could not eclipse Crosby. He broke that mark. He was neck and neck with Crosby for a lot of years, eventually started pulling away, has stayed healthy pretty much his entire career. The only season that he missed 10 or more games was 2 years ago. He had a slight injury that kept him out a few games, and then a couple of healthy scratches and a couple of day-to-day things. But Ovechkin has stayed largely healthy. And the other thing he's looking at, he's coming up on 300 power play goals. He's got 5 shorties in his career. But again, that level, and 1,300 games as well. Of the 3 that have hit that mark, he's actually in the middle now because Gretzky didn't when he was 33. Gordie Howe somehow, someway did it when he was 52, and also did it in his final NHL season. But we can expect probably by the time you and I see each other on the Wise Guys year-end special this coming Saturday, he'll probably have eclipsed Howe, and then now you can actually start the Gretzky tracker. It's every time the Capitals have gone out and played this year, it's been the race to 800, and now that that's done, you just basically take the same graphic and you flip the caption on it. So kind of like what the St. Louis Cardinals had all season long with Albert Pujols in his race, and then he gets to 700 and calls it a career. Ovechkin's at 800 and shows absolutely no signs of slowing down. The Capitals are certainly not the youngest team in the league, but he's actually got them. They're still in the hunt. They're only a couple of games out of a playoff spot right now, but they've won 5 in a row. They're 7-2-1 in their last 10. Their win last night finally got them up into the plus side of the goal differential. They're only a +2. But some of the other teams that they have to chase down, the Rangers, the Islanders, the Penguins, the Hurricanes, and the ever surprising New Jersey Devils. Now, Washington is more than capable of going on a run, and the idea of Ovechkin getting an NHL record 10th 50 goal season certainly would not be out of the realm of possibility. That's 30 more goals in 53 more games because they play 82 in the NHL. So it's certainly a possibility with that. And also the hat trick last night was Ovechkin's 29th of his career, which moved him out of a tie with Marcel Dion and I had it here just a second ago, and my system just refreshed. It was Marcel Dion and Bobby Hull. Talk about company. The other great thing about Ovechkin setting the mark is the Capitals have been his one and only franchise. We remember when he was still wearing the Screaming Eagle, and when they went to the reverse retro on those with the blue and gold colors, but only flipped them to the black of the secondary jersey that had the Capital logo on those. Mwah, chef's kiss. They need to go back to those full time, because I never liked when they went to the modernized version of the Capital scripting here. I love those Screaming Eagle jerseys. It's some of the teams when they went to their reverse retros, I would like to see Buffalo make the gold head a universal third. That would be really awesome, because I always remember the Sabres in the blue and gold, even though my first Sabres jersey was the black and red goat head. The Islanders bringing back the Fisherman, although you can't do that without bringing in the aqua. I do like the orange and the navy, but I think Washington might need to sit back and think long and hard about maybe bringing back the Screaming Eagle and putting them in those retro colors, because when they did the reverse retro and then put that with the current colors last year, 2 years ago, whenever it was, it did not work out. If you're going to bring out that Screaming Eagle, you put them in the blue and the bronze. But I would love to see Ovechkin chase this thing down. Who's to say that he doesn't have the year of all years and eclipse this thing by the end of next year, or very, very early of that following year? But yet again, could we also, in the next 3 years, be talking about Connor McDavid hitting 400 by the age of 28, while Ovechkin's trying to chase down a possible shot at 900? Fun times in the NHL. He's running out of records to catch anymore. Again, nobody's going to catch Gretzky's overall points total, but most of the other records that are out there, he's got a legitimate shot to get. Again, what more does he have left to accomplish? He's got his Stanley Cup. He's got his Conn Smythe. He's now, he's caught Gordy and Gretzky. He's going to pass Gordy in the next couple of days. He's going to run down Gretzky. He's got the power play goal record. He also was the first player in NHL history to win the Lester Pearson, the Art Ross, the Maurice Richard, and the Hart Trophy in the same year. Although one of those trophies wasn't officially announced until wasn't first given out until 1999. It'd be interesting to go back and see if how many times Gretzky or possibly Lemieux or somebody could have won that award as well. And I think that was I want to say it might have been the Rocket Richard Trophy, which was also the Ted Lindsay Trophy for most goals in the regular season. But again, I'm going to have to go back and look that up. But let me know what you guys think. Is Alex Ovechkin the greatest hockey player of this generation? Do you were you old enough to remember Gretzky or Mike Bossy, or even going back to a Bobby Hull or Gordy in his prime? Who do you think has a legitimate chance of catching Ovechkin? Could it be Austin Matthews? Are you penciling in Connor McDavid? within the course of the next 10 years. And hopefully I'm here with you guys to be able to see that. So again, let me know what you guys think. I will see you guys on Saturday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Time live. This will be the last Sports Note before then, because I'm going to be cutting some video in advance of that. It will be our year-end special. Mike and I certainly will be there. We've got a couple of other guests coming in the pipe. We're actually waiting on a few commitments. And any one of you guys out there that's interested in joining us, hop on. There's more than enough room at the table, and we're going to have a blast. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you on Saturday night.